Hello and welcome to your ultimate guide for the D099 OA Sales Management course. My goal today is simple: give you everything you need to fully understand the key concepts, master them, and walk into your D099 OA exam with total confidence. In this video, we'll cover sales objectives, corporate structures, competitive advantage, sales technology, sales ethics. And remember, our website offers free exam guides and practice questions to help you ace your D099 OA exam. You'll find the link in the description below, so be sure to check it out and get the resources you need to study smarter, not harder. So let's dive right in. Let's dive right in and start building that foundation you need. The sales role isn't just about making transactions. It's about bridging the gap between what a company offers and what customers actually need or want. Understanding this fundamental purpose will help you answer exam questions about sales strategy, organizational structure, and business development. We'll explore how sales creates value, builds loyalty, and drives revenue in today's competitive marketplace. Before we dive deep into our first major concept, I want to let you know about something valuable for your exam preparation. I've created over 300 completely free practice questions that work hand in hand with everything we're covering today. You'll find the link in the description, and I really encourage you to bookmark it. These questions will help solidify everything you're learning right now. Now let's talk about the fundamental role of sales within an organization. Sales serves as the bridge between a company's products or services and the customer's needs or wants. This isn't just a simple transaction process. It's a strategic function that strengthens customer loyalty through building brand trust and developing long-term client relationships. Think of sales as the vital connection point where business offerings meet market demand. The modern business environment makes this bridge-building function even more critical than ever before. With the internet and social media dominating how people communicate, companies face constant public scrutiny. Positive and negative comments about organizations, their products, and their business practices can spread instantly through internet channels. This means building trust and maintaining customer loyalty has become absolutely essential for businesses to compete successfully in today's information-filled marketplace. Here's a real-world example to illustrate this point. Consider how quickly a negative customer experience can go viral on social media platforms. One dissatisfied customer sharing their story on platforms like Twitter or Facebook can reach thousands or even millions of people within hours. This immediate and widespread feedback loop means that every interaction a salesperson has with a customer carries significant weight for the company's reputation and future success. On your OA exam, you'll likely encounter questions about the primary functions of sales departments and how they contribute to organizational success. Pay close attention to questions that ask about the relationship between sales and marketing, or how sales activities support overall business strategy. The examiners want to see that you understand sales as a strategic business function, not just a transaction-based activity. To help this concept stick in your memory, remember this key phrase: sales builds bridges. Those two words capture the essence of what sales does. It bridges products to customers. It bridges organizational goals to market realities. And it bridges short-term transactions to long-term relationships. Whenever you see an exam question about sales functions, think about what kind of bridge is being built in that scenario. Let's move into understanding the key objectives that every sales department must accomplish. First and foremost is generating customers and converting sales. This might seem obvious, but the critical point here is that this must be done efficiently and cost-effectively. Sales departments constantly focus on improving their conversion rates because better conversion rates mean spending less money to acquire each customer, which directly translates to higher profits for the company. Here's how conversion rates work in practical terms. Let's say a salesperson named Annika talks to 10 potential customers in a single day. If 2 of those 10 people actually purchase the product, Annika has converted 20% of her prospects into customers. Her conversion rate is 20%. Now, if Annika can improve that to 30%, by refining her sales approach. She's making the same number of contacts but generating 50% more sales. That's efficiency in action. What we just covered about conversion rates is exactly the type of material you'll find in our free practice question bank. These aren't just basic questions either. They're designed to test your deep understanding of sales metrics and efficiency measures just like the real OA exam will. Working through those problems will help you calculate and interpret conversion rates under exam pressure. The second critical objective of sales departments is retaining current customers. This is actually more important than many people realize. Research consistently shows that it costs businesses significantly more money to attract new customers than to keep existing ones. This is why customer loyalty becomes imperative for business longevity, and why the sales team must strive to retain customers through relationship building and consistent service. Building strong customer relationships involves making genuine connections with people. It means listening carefully to what customers say, providing honest answers to their questions, and offering viable solutions for their specific needs and wants. To accomplish this effectively, salespeople need to adapt their sales process to each individual customer. This personalized approach creates trust and encourages customers to continue doing business with the company over time. Think about your own experiences as a consumer for a moment. Have you ever continued buying from a company even though you could find similar products cheaper elsewhere? That's customer loyalty in action. Maybe it was because a salesperson took extra time to understand your needs, or because the company consistently delivered excellent service. That emotional connection and trust you felt is exactly what sales teams work to create with every customer interaction. Now let's discuss sales forecasting, which is the third key objective of sales departments. Sales forecasting means determining how much product can be sold during a specific time period and at what price point. This might not sound glamorous, but it's absolutely crucial for business operations. Companies use these forecasts to develop their operational budgets and determine potential profitability for upcoming quarters or years. Sales forecasting directly impacts how businesses manage their resources across the entire organization. When sales departments provide accurate forecasts, companies can determine how to manage their workforce effectively, plan their production schedules efficiently, and allocate their financial resources wisely. Without reliable sales forecasts, businesses would be operating blind, unable to plan for growth or prepare for slower periods. Here's a practical example of sales forecasting in action. Imagine a company that manufactures winter coats. Their sales department forecasts that they'll sell 20,000 coats in the upcoming winter season at an average price of $150 each. Based on this forecast, the production department knows how many coats to manufacture. The human resources department knows whether to hire temporary workers, and the finance department can project revenue of $3 million for that season. The fourth key objective is ensuring product market fit. This means the sales function needs to work closely with marketing to make sure the product is actually meeting a real need for the target market. It also means verifying that the product is being promoted correctly to generate a satisfactory level of sales. This collaborative relationship between sales and marketing is essential for business success. I know we're covering lots of detailed information about sales objectives, and you might be wondering how to practice applying all these concepts. That's precisely why I put together those free practice questions I mentioned earlier. They'll help you work through problems that combine multiple concepts, like scenarios where you need to analyze conversion rates, while also considering customer retention strategies and sales forecasting accuracy. Let's shift our focus to understanding how sales fits within corporate structures. The way sales functions within an organization depends heavily on the organization's overall corporate structure. Understanding these different structures is important because exam questions often test your knowledge of how sales departments are organized and why they're organized that way. We'll look at two of the most common structures. The first common structure is the functional structure. As organizations grow and their sales increase, they generally adopt this approach. A functional structure groups employees into specific functional areas based on their expertise. These functional areas typically correspond to different stages in what's called the value chain. You'll see operations in one area, research and development in another, and marketing and sales grouped together as well. Think of the functional structure like departments in a university. Just as universities group professors by their academic disciplines like mathematics, history, and biology, companies group employees by their business functions. This creates clear lines of expertise and responsibility. Everyone knows which department handles which aspects of the business, and sales professionals work alongside marketing professionals who share similar skill sets and business objectives. The second common structure is the modular structure with strategic business units, often abbreviated as SBUs. This structure focuses on dividing the business into smaller, tightly knit units that focus on specific elements of the organizational process. Each SBU operates somewhat independently, with limited interdependence among the units. Corporate headquarters treats each SBU as an internal profit center, meaning they're responsible for their own financial performance. In the modular structure, sales departments exist within each strategic business unit and hold both product and service sales responsibilities. This means instead of having one centralized sales department for the entire company, you might have separate sales teams for different product lines or market segments. Each team focuses intensely on their specific area, building deep expertise in their particular market or product category. Here's an example to clarify the difference between these structures. Imagine a large technology company. Under a functional structure, all salespeople across all product lines would be part of one sales department, sharing resources and reporting to the same sales leadership. Under a modular structure with SBUs, the company might have separate sales teams for enterprise software, consumer electronics, and cloud services, each operating as its own profit center with its own sales leadership. On your OA exam, you might see questions asking you to identify which corporate structure would be most appropriate for a given business scenario. The key is to look for clues about company size, product diversity, and strategic goals. Larger companies with diverse product lines often benefit from modular structures, while growing companies typically adopt functional structures to create efficiency through teachable specialization. Now let's explore business strategy and competitive advantage, which are foundational concepts for understanding how sales contributes to overall business success. Businesses don't exist in isolation. They operate as one element of a complex environment that includes social, political, economic, and competitive forces. A company's strategy is essentially a comprehensive plan to achieve its goals while navigating all these conditions successfully. Strategy defines how an organization will achieve long-term success, and determining the right strategy is a critical management decision. Why is it so critical? Because strategy involves significant commitments of resources, and once a company initiates a strategic direction, changing course becomes very difficult and extremely costly. This is why businesses invest so much time and effort into strategic planning before taking action. Think about strategy this way. A company's customers are its friends, and its competitors are its enemies. The strategy must keep the company aligned with what customers need and want, while simultaneously outperforming competitors who have similar business goals around sales, profitability, and market share. To succeed, a firm has to constantly improve its offerings and be better than the competitors' alternatives. When customers perceive a meaningful distinction between your product and a competitor's product as being valuable, they'll prefer to purchase your product. This preference is called a competitive advantage. It's what gives companies the edge they need to win in the marketplace. Competitive advantage isn't about being slightly better in one small way. It's about creating value that customers recognize and appreciate enough to choose you over alternatives. Let me give you a concrete example of competitive advantage in action. Think about smartphone companies. Apple doesn't have the lowest prices or even the most features compared to some Android phones. However, Apple has built a competitive advantage through its ecosystem integration, user experience design, and brand perception. Customers who value these elements will choose iPhones even when similar or superior technical specifications exist in less expensive alternatives. Market segmentation is an important strategy for building competitive advantage by targeting specific segments not otherwise tapped by larger companies. Business markets might segment based on geography, volume, and benefits just like consumer markets do. However, organizations might also segment based on how customers use the product, characteristics of the purchasing function, size of the client or industry, and other considerations specific to business customers. If some of these strategic concepts feel challenging right now, don't worry at all. That's completely normal, and it's exactly why I created that comprehensive practice question bank. Working through those problems will help solidify your understanding of business strategy, competitive advantage, and market segmentation, while building your confidence for answering complex exam questions. Having competitive advantage means a company will have more resources to pursue its goals effectively. When firms outperform their competitors, they generate more revenue and profit. This financial success means they can finance more research and development to improve their products or services. They can also spend more on advertising and promotions to attract additional customers, creating a positive cycle of competitive success. Now let's delve into what makes competitive advantages sustainable over time. Regardless of the industry, market, or segment where a company competes, its overarching goal should be to create a sustainable competitive advantage. This occurs when an organization acquires or develops an attribute or combination of attributes that allow it to outperform its competitors consistently. These attributes might include access to natural resources or highly trained and skilled personnel. The key word here is sustainable. If competitors can easily copy what you're doing, then you don't have a sustainable competitive advantage. You just have a temporary edge that will disappear quickly. True sustainable competitive advantage involves something that competitors cannot replicate easily or cannot replicate at all. This could be proprietary technology, exclusive supplier relationships, superior company culture, or brand reputation built over decades. There are several specific factors that help businesses develop sustainable competitive advantages. Let's work through each one so you understand how they create lasting value. First is customer loyalty, where customers must be committed to buying merchandise and services from a particular retailer or provider. This commitment can be accomplished through effective retail branding, strategic positioning in the market, and well-designed loyalty programs that reward repeat purchases. Second is location, which serves as a critical factor in a consumer's selection of a store or service provider. Think about convenience stores or gas stations. Their success often depends heavily on securing prime locations with high traffic and easy access. Once a competitor establishes the best location, other businesses face a significant disadvantage that's difficult to overcome because physical location cannot be easily replicated. Third are distribution and information systems. Retailers try to develop the most effective and efficient ways to get their products at low cost and sell them at reasonable prices while maintaining profitability. Companies that master supply chain management and data analytics can achieve significant cost advantages. These system advantages often require years of investment and refinement, making them difficult for competitors to match quickly. Fourth is unique merchandise. Companies can develop and market private label brands and products in such a way that they're only available from specific retailers. When customers want these unique products, they have no choice but to purchase from that particular retailer. This exclusivity creates a powerful competitive advantage because competitors literally cannot offer the same products. Fifth are strong vendor relations. Developing solid relationships with vendors may result in exclusive rights to sell merchandise in a specific region or receive popular merchandise when supply is limited. These relationships take years to build and involve trust, reliability, and mutual benefit. Competitors cannot simply decide one day to have the same vendor relationships. They must earn them over time. Sixth is superior customer service. Excellent customer service requires significant time and investment to establish throughout an organization. However, once established, competitors will have a difficult time developing a comparable reputation. Customer service becomes embedded in company culture, employee training programs, and operational procedures. This makes it a truly sustainable competitive advantage because culture cannot be copied overnight. Seventh is multiple source advantage. This means having an advantage across multiple different areas rather than just one. McDonald's serves as an excellent example here. The company isn't just known for one thing. It's known for being fast, being clean, and having hot food available consistently. These multiple sources of advantage work together to create a competitive position that's much harder for competitors to match than a single advantage would be. Here's an important distinction that often appears on exams. Sustainable competitive advantages support how a company competes, not what the company does to compete. Consider Walmart as an example. One might argue that low prices are Walmart's competitive advantage. However, other retailers can and do reduce their prices to match Walmart temporarily. That's not sustainable because it can be copied. Instead, Walmart's real competitive advantage is its unmatched supply chain system that's focused on reducing costs at every step. This focus extends from vendor relationships and tough negotiation through an efficient distribution network to streamlined store operations and cost-effective advertising. At every single step of the supply chain, Walmart seeks to identify and remove costs. This systemic approach cannot be easily copied, making it a true sustainable competitive advantage. Remember that mastering these concepts about competitive advantage takes practice and application. The free practice questions I mentioned are designed specifically to help you take what you're learning here and turn it into exam-ready skills. They include scenarios where you'll need to identify sustainable versus temporary advantages and analyze how different factors contribute to competitive success. Let's now explore customer relationship management systems, commonly called CRM systems. This is another important strategy for companies to consider implementing. CRM systems serve key functions for marketing, sales, and account management departments. These powerful software systems capture data about customers as well as an organization's interactions with its customers over time. CRM systems also provide tools to help marketers and salespeople better manage customer relationships and meet their customers' evolving needs. The data captured might include purchase history, communication preferences, service requests, complaints, compliments, and any other interaction the customer has had with the company. All this information gets stored in one centralized location that authorized employees can access when needed. The overall business goals of CRM systems are to help organizations accomplish several specific objectives. First is to capture new leads and move them efficiently through the sales process from initial contact to final purchase. Second is to support and manage relationships with current customers in ways that maximize the lifetime value of those relationships to the company. This means keeping customers happy and encouraging them to make repeated purchases over many years. Third is to boost productivity across sales and marketing teams while lowering the overall costs of marketing, sales, and account management activities. When information is centralized and easily accessible, employees spend less time searching for data and more time actually serving customers. This efficiency gain translates directly into cost savings and improved profitability for the organization. Here's a practical example of CRM in action. Imagine you contact a company's customer service department with a question about a product. The service representative can see your entire purchase history, previous service requests, and preferences in the CRM system. They can address your current question while also being aware of context from past interactions. This creates a seamless, personalized experience that builds customer satisfaction and loyalty. On your exam, expect questions about the benefits of CRM systems and how they support sales activities. The key points to remember are that CRM systems centralize customer information, improve efficiency, support personalized service, and help companies maximize customer lifetime value. Questions might ask you to identify situations where CRM would be most beneficial, or to explain specific ways CRM supports business objectives. As we wrap up this detailed section on CRM, remember that understanding these concepts is just the first step. The real mastery comes from applying them to business scenarios, which is where those free practice questions become invaluable. They're completely free and designed specifically to prepare you for OA exam questions about customer relationship management and sales technology. Now let's discuss analytics, business intelligence, and big data. In today's world, organizations of all sizes gather vast quantities of data every single day. There's a real need to get meaningful insights from these huge data sets to drive better business decisions. Business intelligence, often abbreviated as BI, is a technology-driven process for analyzing data and presenting useful information to help executives, managers, and end users make informed business decisions. The potential benefits of using business intelligence tools are substantial. They include accelerating and improving decision-making processes, optimizing internal business processes, increasing operational efficiency, driving new revenues, and gaining competitive advantage over business rivals. These benefits explain why companies invest so heavily in BI systems despite their complexity and cost. Traditional database software simply cannot process and analyze such voluminous and complex datasets effectively. This limitation is essentially the problem that big data analytics solves. Big data analytics provides powerful systems that can process massive amounts of information and extract insights from large, complex datasets that would be impossible to analyze using conventional methods. Business intelligence is most effective when it combines external data with internal data. External data comes from the market in which a company operates and might include industry trends, competitor actions, economic indicators, and consumer behavior patterns. Internal data comes from company sources like financial records, operations data, and sales transactions. When combined, these data types provide a complete picture that creates intelligence nobody could derive from any single data set alone. Other ways businesses can use BI to improve performance include business process management, where performance metrics and benchmarking inform business leaders of progress toward their goals. It includes enhanced decision-making, where BI analytics like data mining and statistical analysis quantify processes so businesses can make the best possible decisions based on evidence rather than intuition alone. Business intelligence also supports business planning, helping companies develop both short-term goals and long-term strategy based on solid data. Additionally, BI can facilitate collaboration both inside and outside the business by enabling data sharing and electronic data interchange. This collaboration improves coordination and helps different departments or partner companies work together more effectively towards shared objectives. Let me give you an example of BI in action. A retail company might use business intelligence to analyze sales patterns across different store locations, product categories, and time periods. The BI system could reveal that certain products sell better in specific geographic regions, or that sales spike during particular times of the year. Armed with these insights, the company can optimize inventory levels, adjust pricing strategies, and plan marketing campaigns more effectively. Don't forget to grab those free practice questions from the link in the description. They include problems about business intelligence, data analytics, and how companies use information systems to support sales and marketing activities. With the depth of knowledge you've gained today, plus practice from those questions, you'll be incredibly well prepared for your OA exam questions on these topics. Now let's trace the evolution of sales to understand how we arrived at today's modern sales environment. Prior to the 1800s, sales were predominantly made by local merchants who provided full service to customers in their communities. These merchants knew their customers personally and built relationships through repeated face-to-face interactions. The Industrial Revolution changed everything by bringing breakthroughs in manufacturing that led to marked increases in affordable, quality items. During the Industrial Revolution era, two main selling options existed. The first involved selling items directly to consumers through company-owned stores. The second option involved employing a commissioned agent or company agent who would be responsible for delivering manufactured goods to shopkeepers. These agents acted as intermediaries, connecting manufacturers with retailers who would then sell to final consumers. The 1990s saw the introduction and widespread utilization of the internet, which drastically impacted the retail industry and continues to drive product and marketing innovation today. The internet fundamentally transformed how retailers and consumers view the intersections of product, place, price, and time. This technological shift created the most dramatic change in selling since the Industrial Revolution. Shoppers today have nearly unlimited access to an unprecedented assortment of products through online channels. Their purchases are no longer restricted to physical bricks-and-mortar stores or traditional store hours. Consumers can shop anytime, anywhere, comparing prices across multiple retailers instantly, and reading reviews from other customers before making purchase decisions. This convenience and information access has permanently altered the retail landscape. This change in purchasing dynamics has created a much more informed buyer and consequently has changed the role of the salesperson dramatically. Today's salespeople can't rely on having more product knowledge than customers because customers often research extensively before ever speaking to a sales representative. Instead, modern salespeople must develop relationships with customers by understanding what they really need and want in a product or service. Developing genuine relationships helps salespeople sell more effectively because customers trust that the salesperson's opinions are informed and that they're truly there to support them. This consultative approach to selling focuses on solving customer problems rather than simply pushing products. It recognizes that in an information-rich environment, salespeople add value through expertise, insight, and personalized service rather than just product information that customers can find online themselves. Now let's address ethics in sales, which is absolutely critical for both exam success and professional practice. Ethics are one's moral principles, essentially a system that defines right and wrong and provides a guiding philosophy for every decision a person makes. Organizational ethics define how an organization ethically responds to internal or external stimuli. These ethics express the values of an organization to its employees and other entities, regardless of governmental or regulatory laws. There are at least 4 elements that make up ethical behavior within an organization. First is a written code of ethics and standards that clearly articulates what the organization expects. Second is ethics training provided to executives, managers, and employees so everyone understands their ethical responsibilities. Third is the availability of advice on ethical situations through advice lines or ethics offices where employees can seek guidance. Fourth is a system for confidential reporting, so employees can raise concerns without fear of retaliation. Most large companies and thousands of smaller ones have created, printed, and distributed formal codes of ethics. Sales managers are ethically responsible for both their own actions and their salespeople's actions. Many situations in sales can be ambiguous, depending on context. For example, receiving and giving gifts or getting information about contract bids and competitors might be acceptable in some circumstances but unethical in others. A code of ethics provides employees with knowledge of what the company expects in terms of responsibilities and behaviour towards fellow employees, customers, and suppliers. Government regulatory agencies and associations also provide codes of ethics to which they expect businesses to conform. The Uniform Commercial Code and American Marketing Association Code of Conduct are 2 important examples of external ethical guidelines that govern business behaviour. The ethical issues that US businesses worry about most are related to sales and marketing activities. Their top 8 ethical concerns include gifts, gratuities, and bribes, price discrimination and unfair pricing, dishonest advertising, miscellaneous unfair competitive practices, cheating customers through unfair credit practices and overselling, price collusion by competitors or price fixing, dishonesty in making or keeping contracts, and unfairness to employees and prejudice in hiring. In sales and marketing, the greatest ethical challenge is to influence the behaviour of the target customer by getting them to buy without violating the customer's trust or acting unethically. This requires a delicate balance between persuasion and manipulation. Effective salespeople learn to advocate for their products honestly while respecting customer autonomy and decision-making freedom. Here's an example of an ethical dilemma a salesperson might face. Imagine you're selling software, and you know a customer could meet their needs with a less expensive package than the one you're recommending. Do you suggest the cheaper option that better fits their needs, or push the more expensive product that gives you a higher commission. Ethical selling means recommending the solution that truly serves the customer best, even when it costs you money. On your OA exam, you'll definitely encounter questions about ethics in sales. These might present scenarios where you need to identify ethical versus unethical behavior, or ask you to explain why certain practices are problematic. The key is to remember that ethical selling prioritizes long-term customer relationships and trust over short-term gains. Questions might also test your knowledge of the elements that make up ethical organizational behavior. Let's now bring everything together and review what we've covered in this comprehensive guide. We started by understanding that sales serves as the vital bridge between what companies offer and what customers need. This bridge-building function has become increasingly important in our interconnected social media-driven world, where reputation can be built or destroyed instantly through online channels. We explored the key objectives of sales departments, including generating customers and converting sales efficiently through strong conversion rates, retaining current customers through relationship building because retention costs less than acquisition, developing accurate sales forecasts to support business planning and resource allocation, and ensuring product-market fit by collaborating closely with marketing teams. We examined how sales functions within different corporate structures, comparing the functional structure that groups employees by expertise with the modular structure that creates strategic business units operating as internal profit centers. Understanding these structural differences helps you analyze how sales operations should be organized based on company size, product diversity, and strategic goals. We analyze business strategy and competitive advantage, learning that businesses must outperform competitors by creating value that customers recognize and appreciate. We distinguish between temporary advantages that competitors can quickly copy and sustainable competitive advantages that endure over time because they're difficult or impossible to replicate. These sustainable advantages might include customer loyalty, strategic locations, superior distribution systems, unique merchandise, strong vendor relationships, excellent customer service, or multiple sources of advantage working together. We discovered that true sustainable competitive advantages focus on how a company competes rather than what it does to compete. The Walmart example illustrated this perfectly, showing that their real advantage isn't low prices themselves, but rather the unmatched supply chain system that enables those low prices consistently. This systemic approach creates barriers that competitors cannot easily overcome. We learned how customer relationship management systems capture and organize customer data to support marketing, sales, and account management activities. CRM systems help companies capture new leads, manage existing customer relationships, maximize customer lifetime value, and improve productivity while reducing costs. The centralized information these systems provide enables personalized service and efficient operations. We explored business intelligence and big data analytics, understanding how these tools help organizations extract meaningful insights from vast amounts of information. By combining external market data with internal operational data, companies create intelligence that supports better decision-making, optimizes processes, improves efficiency, and provides competitive advantage. We trace the evolution of sales from pre-industrial local merchants through the Industrial Revolution's manufacturing breakthroughs to the internet age that transformed retail forever. Today's informed consumers have unprecedented access to product information, which has changed the salesperson's role from information provider to trusted advisor who adds value through expertise and personalized service. Finally, we examined ethics in sales, recognizing that ethical behavior requires written codes, training, advice resources, and confidential reporting systems. We reviewed the top ethical concerns in sales and marketing, understanding that the greatest challenge is influencing customer behavior without violating trust or acting unethically. You now have a comprehensive foundation for understanding the purpose of the sales role in modern organizations. You understand how sales contributes to business success through revenue generation, relationship building, strategic planning, and ethical practice. You can analyze different corporate structures and competitive advantage strategies. You recognize how technology supports sales through CRM and business intelligence systems, and you appreciate the ethical responsibilities that come with the sales profession. Take a moment to reflect on how all these concepts interconnect. Sales doesn't exist in isolation, but operates as part of larger business strategy. Competitive advantage requires sustainable differentiation. Technology enables better relationships and decisions. Ethics underpin long-term success. These connections are exactly what exam questions test, so being able to see relationships between concepts will serve you well. Remember that understanding concepts is essential, but applying them to scenarios is what demonstrates mastery. As you prepare for your exam, focus on practicing with realistic business situations where you need to analyze problems, identify solutions, and justify your reasoning. The more you practice applying these concepts, the more natural it will become to recognize them in different contexts. With everything you've learned today, you're well equipped to tackle exam questions about the purpose of sales roles, organizational structures, competitive strategy, customer relationship management, and sales ethics. Review your notes, revisit challenging concepts, and most importantly, practice applying this knowledge through the free question bank I've created for you. Those 300+ questions will give you the hands-on practice you need to move from understanding to mastery. Stay confident in your preparation. You've covered substantial ground today, and with focused practice, you'll be ready to demonstrate your knowledge on exam day. Good luck with your studies, and remember that consistent effort and application are the keys to exam success. Go grab those practice questions and start putting your knowledge to work. Stay confident in your preparation. You've covered substantial ground today, and with focused practice, you'll be ready to demonstrate your knowledge on exam day. Good luck with your studies, and remember that consistent effort and application are the keys to exam success. Go grab those practice questions and start putting your knowledge to work.